Alright, let's dive into something that's been on my mind lately. Now you see me live. If you're like me and you've got a soft spot for magic, illusions, and mentalism, you've probably noticed something. Originality in this world is becoming the real magic trick. And honestly, that's what makes this show so fascinating to talk about. Because when I walked into the London Coliseum, I was expecting something mind-blowing. Instead, I left thinking, have we really run out of new ideas? Here's the thing, magic, at its core, is about wonder. It's about that moment where you question reality. But with Now You See Me Live, it feels like they're relying on the same old playbook. Teleportation, production, escapology, yeah, we've seen it. And while the four horsemen, Matthew Pomeroy, Gabriella Lester, Enzo Wayne, and Andrew Basso, are talented, the show doesn't push the boundaries. It's like they're playing it safe, and in magic, safe is the opposite of spectacular. What makes this really interesting is the contrast between the films and the live show. In the Now You See Me movies, the four horsemen pull off these grand heists, leaving audiences in awe. But on stage? It feels more like a greatest hits compilation than a groundbreaking performance. Personally, I think the biggest missed opportunity here is the storytelling. Magic isn't just about the tricks, it's about the narrative, the journey. And here, the narrative is all over the place. Take the guest performers, for example. Rafferty Coop, Fraser Penman, and Eden Choi, all talented in their own right, but their acts feel underwhelming. Coop's audience participation comes off as goofy, Penman's mentalism trick feels recycled, and Choi's sleight of hand is almost too exposed. If you take a step back and think about it, these are performers who've made names for themselves on Britain's Got Talent, but here, their acts don't feel elevated. It's like they're just going through the motions. One thing that immediately stands out is how the audience interaction falls flat. Remember when Pomeroy brought a child on stage? It felt like something you'd see at a local fair, not a high-budget production. And don't even get me started on the trick with Andrew Basso and the slaps. The tension was supposed to be high, but the audience members' anxiety killed the moment. What this really suggests is that even the best planned tricks can fall apart without the right execution. But here's where it gets deeper. Magic is as much about the audience as it is about the performer. When a trick relies on an audience member, their reaction can make or break it. And in this show, those moments feel rushed or inconsequential. It's like the performers are more focused on the trick itself than the experience they're creating. Now, let's talk about originality, or the lack thereof. The most memorable parts of the show weren't the tricks themselves but how they involved the audience. Paper aeroplanes, giant balloons, ping-pong balls, these were creative ways to engage people, but they were fleeting. If you ask me, that's where the real magic could have happened. Instead of relying on familiar tricks, why not lean into these interactive moments? Make the audience feel like they're part of something bigger. What many people don't realize is that magic is evolving. We're in an era where audiences are smarter, more skeptical, and more exposed to how tricks work. So, when a show like this feels predictable, it's not just disappointing, it's a missed opportunity. The final trick, for instance, tries to be inspirational by talking about the performer's love for magic, but it comes off as forced. A detail I find fascinating is how they could have used audience participation, like having us use our phone calculators, to make it more engaging. But they didn't. If you take a step back and think about it, the show's biggest flaw is its inability to surprise. Magic should leave you questioning reality, not checking your watch. And while I appreciate the effort, Now You See Me Live feels like a shadow of what it could have been. So, here's my takeaway: magic isn't just about the tricks, it's about the experience. And in this case, the experience feels undercooked. Personally, I think the show had potential, but it played it too safe. If you're a diehard fan of the films, you might enjoy it. But if you're looking for something groundbreaking, you'll likely leave feeling underwhelmed. What do you think? Have we reached a point where originality and magic is impossible? Or is there still room for something truly mind-blowing? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, keep questioning reality, because that's where the real magic happens.